There's a new set of challenges for those hit hardest by the worst storm in recent history to hit the Jersey Shore.
It's a very scary prospect.
As if the damage Hurricane Sandy caused wasn't bad enough, now many residents will be forced to make a difficult decision. Do they spend thousands of dollars to raise their homes to comply with the new state standards, or will they have to cut their losses and start over elsewhere?
You know you're not alone, but you feel left out in the cold.
According to FEMA's advisory flood map, which the state adopted as its new standard, Jeanette Van Houten's home in Union Beach would have to be lifted 10 feet. That's about as high as where her second story begins now.
We're looking at anywhere between $30,000 to $45,000 just for the foundation.
As Carrie O'Neill found, there are two major expenses to raise a house: the actual lift, which cost her about $13 grand, and rebuilding the foundation.
The bigger piece is actually getting the masonry work done. It's probably going to be about $25,000.
Although FEMA does cover some of the cost of raising homes, O'Neill says the reality is that people will have to spend the money out of pocket first, then get reimbursed later.
I submitted it, and now I'm just waiting to see.
And you hope for the best.
Exactly.
O'Neill says between she and her fiancé, they could afford the expense, but Van Houten still doesn't know how she'll move forward.
That's a year's salary.
For other people in the town, raising their homes simply isn't an option, not because of the high cost, but because of the age of their homes.
The house, structurally, you won't be able to raise it. It was built on clay block.
Bill Jensen's home was built in the 1930s. He says if he could raise it, the rebuild may have ended up costing him more than the house is actually worth.
It's not going to be worth anything.
Jensen is lucky enough to have a second home in Pennsylvania, but for Van Houten, there are no easy answers. She knows she has to raise the house to avoid a huge increase in flood insurance, but she still doesn't know how she'll afford it.
It's confusing. It's overwhelming.
At the end of the day, though, she knows one thing for sure: this little town will remain her home. In Union Beach, Natalie Patterson, Fios 1 News.